Hi, welcome if I did it. A show where we analyze and solve pure kerfuffles from a world not beyond. I'm your host, Lexi Old, author of The Seven Secret Source Inspiration, a snappy guide for procrastinators. And joining me as always is Kid Named Bloody Elbow, and of the Let It Roll podcast, and also Eugene S. Robinson, from Aussie.com, and author of Fight Everything You Ever Wanted to Know About Asking. We're afraid you'd get your ass kicked for asking. Collectively, MMA Pancholes.
Pancholes!
Now, Eugene, you're the UFC. How do you explain your TV deal, trials and tribulations, live in public, if you will?
Well, okay. There are a couple of different entities we're talking about here, right? We're talking about the bald one. We're talking about the UFC. And we're talking about Endeavor, also known as WEMEFMGB. So we got three. We've got three different entities, and they're not all the same. So when you talk about the UFC, you have to be very specific. But I'm choosing to go with the non-specific version, right? If I am the bald one, if that percentage of the UFC pie, it depends on what I have written in my contract vis-a-vis the lock-in after the company sold for $4.2 billion. If it threatens my $300 million, which I suspect it doesn't based on the way he's acting, then if it threatens it, I'm panicked. If it doesn't, what do I give a fuck? I tend to think it's the latter. If it is the UFC, well, that's virtually indistinguishable from Ari and Endeavor. And if I were them, I'd be kind of upset a little bit. So I paid $4.2 billion for something that had a promise of $400 million worth of TV rights. And right now, when I say $400 million, everybody's laughing at me. That doesn't feel good. That doesn't feel good. The people who months ago, literally months ago, I could have gone to with a straight face and said, okay, how about $400 million? Are laughing me out of the place. And I made noises, floated a trial balloon, and said, how about $300 million? It's like that Colin Quinn thing where the Dutch show up to Manhattan and they say, we'll give you $26 for it. And the Indians go like, no, Native Americans go, no, we're not selling. He goes, great, we'll give you $25 for it. Because maybe you don't hear so good. I told you we're not selling. He goes, great. Okay, we'll give you $23 for it. And then finally the Indians go, you know what? We probably should settle because this is going the wrong way. And just at that time, they saw the gunboats. The UFC doesn't have any gunboats. So, 400 mil, how about 300 mil? Here's our final offer. Nothing. No, 200 mil. And then we got to cobble it together with partners, which is kind of what they did to get to $4.2 billion anyway. And the partners are ESPN Plus. How do I feel today if I'm the UFC? If I'm the bald one, I barely have noticed anything that I just said. If I am Ari Emanuel, my ass is hurting. And it's hurting because I haven't been paying attention. Like the Brazilians say, a drunk man's asshole belongs to the world. It's true.
How do I follow this? Yeah.
How do I follow a drunken asshole?
I've followed drunken assholes before, and usually just
a little train
take their money. But one caveat I think we should throw out there: the way I heard it, Dana took less money to stay on, so I don't think there's any kind of like you've got to stay on to get your money. Like I think Dana wanted to stay, yeah, and so. How do I feel if I'm the UFC? Well, it's interesting. My question is, who's leaking this? Did the UFC put this out there to like maybe spook Netflix and Amazon and NBC and others into saying, "Oh man, there is interest in the UFC. I might need to bid on this." Or
you mean this? The Netflix that just spent $8 billion on content. You mean that Netflix
said they're going to spend $8 billion?
Yeah.
So not spent, but planning to spend. So yeah, that Netflix. So I mean, did Ari get this in Variety to make his product look more in demand, or did somebody involved with the deal, just like so many people were involved in the deal that word got out, which is a fairly organic thing. And I've been hearing this for about a week, so I don't know. But
Insider
it's a better
that you
deal.
are.
That's right. That's me. So the deal is better than I expected to see. And it's kind of, I'd like to see more details, but yeah, if you're the UFC, you spread this news far and wide, but you better close the deal, because if you let this ship go by, like Eugene's saying, this is one of those deals you don't turn down. Also, the way I heard it, the natives who sold Manhattan to the Dutch were just passing through. So they were like on their annual hunting migration. The Dutch come along, you want to buy? Sure,
yeah. Well, Colin Quinn makes that point. He was like, they say they owned it. We don't know. He goes, they could have just killed the guys who were there before. What do we know?
Well, that's pretty, standard.
Yeah, right.
So that's what people do.
Yeah, human beings. So yeah, I find it. What is that thing where the senator from Nevada says to Michael Corleone, Godfather Part 2, where you got to play your little games, these little games, people floating trial balloons. $400 million is very real money, and a lot of very real money, man. And the fact of the matter is, what do they say? The proof of the pudding is in the tasting. Well, I've been tasting the pudding that they're putting out Saturday nights, and I'm telling you, you probably should settle, much like the Indians that were just passing through.
You almost said poop, so I guess it was a little Freudian slip. I'm tasting the poop. I mean the pudding.
I use that word so often. Who knows? It's just become it's like Tourette's.
It's weird though. Go ahead. Go.
One last thing about that deal. There's a synergy between having Fox and ESPN both in on the deal, because that gives ESPN an incentive to report on the events on Fox and on pay-per-view, and vice versa. So it's a win for the UFC to get good coverage, to have both ESPN and Fox, and ESPN is way more important, have a vested interest in covering their sport.
And also,
No, go ahead.
No, I don't want to step on your shit, but what I was going to say is, unless ESPN has had their troubles recently, but I think one thing that we should keep in mind is that there's another portion of this equation that nobody's mentioned, and that's the fighters. Fighters sitting around going, "Hey,
fighters,
have you paid the mortgage this month? No. I guess it's due on the 12th. Oh, shit. You checked the mail? Yeah, there's nothing from the... Ask Keith, also known as Sean Shelby, if he could maybe PayPal us some money. Or the rumor, I don't know, I got it from my kid's wrestling team, that Cormier is now a head wrestling coach at Gilroy High School.
He's giving his salary away, allegedly.
Okay.
He's paying the assistant coaches with his salary. Cormier, I don't think, needs the money. But everybody else in the division is working at Arby's.
That's not the point. The point is not that he would take a job because he needs money. The money. Let's see. The point is not the money he would be going to. The point would be the insignificance of the money he's leaving. Two types of people walk away from money: those who have $135 million of it. And those who are unhappy enough to be able to cobble it together somewhere else.
Damn, this is as depressing as hearing that Tito Santana was teaching PE.
They're better him than War Machine.
Oh, man. And don't worry about earlier on. I just didn't know if you guys were fading and answering the questions, and given the fact we only have one question left, I was trying to do some filler.
I see.
How is it we only have one question left? What happened?
Two questions. What happened?
You said one.
You tell me. Shit ain't happening.
Yeah, okay. I guess I got lost time syndrome. I've been taken away by aliens or something.
So, Nate, you're Justin Gaethje.
No.
Can you give us the deets on your 5-fight retirement plan?
Well, the way dude fights, I think that is the better part of valor for sure. Like I've enjoyed his UFC run immensely. He was a cat. He was there were like 3 people in the World Series of Fighting that I would go back and watch their fights. I never watched them live, but I would tape them or acquire them and watch them. And he was one of them. And guy hasn't let me down yet. Huh?
Who are the other 2?
Oh, some Brazilian guy. Who was the Brazilian featherweight champ? Yeah, Moraes.
Yeah.
And
Punch Man.
Yeah. And then was the kid with one hand. And
right.
Nick.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
We got the same.
So those are the 3.
My bad.
Yeah. You just had to call me out, didn't you? Huh?
I'm just curious. If you have 3 favorites, what mine? What did I say? Rebel Alliance?
County District Attorney.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
That's some Star Wars shit.
That'll help.
It does cut down on disagreements. You'd be surprised. You step out of the car with this thing on, people are real reasonable.
Like you just got into a fight with that guy in that parking lot. Didn't seem.
I wasn't wearing this hat. That's the thing. Now I have the hat. I always have the hat. I got like 4 of these now.
All right.
My father-in-law though got the jacket. I need the jacket bad because it's got
that way you get. That way, I mean, that's when you you don't want to wait to get shot. You want to get shot right away. Get into a vehicular thing, you step out, they go, oh shit! And then,
I think people know this harder. You start popping.
Yeah.
People wearing district attorney jackets. I mean,
I guess that's right.
You know, so
popping.
Yes. Wait. I didn't answer the question though. I mean, dude's fun to watch, but he's not going to win any titles this way. And he's racking up the brain damage, man. I mean, racking it up. Although a lot of it's rib rusters that are killing him, actually. But I think it's smart. I think it's very smart on his part. Even if it's bullshit, it brings more eyes to his fights, and it also, it's smart all the way around.
Yep. Just like Jay-Z or Too Short is this is my last record. And then the next record is I Just Can't Stay Away. Man, I love it. It's really nice. It's a smart move. And anytime you hear that phrase 2 or 3 times around, or 2 or 3 times during the course of the fight, man, the chin on that guy. It's like, nah, bro. It's not fucking chin. Wait till he tries to put his socks on tonight and misses his feet. That'd been my experience with concussions. Going up the stairs was an effort, Jack, because I had to. Usually people don't even think about it. Just put one foot in front of the other. I'd be missing stairs. I couldn't. It's not like I couldn't see them. It's like I couldn't make the brain do what the feet needed to do to get to that next fucking step. And that's no joke. Goodbye to rugby. And rugby wasn't paying me any money, so why not? But the little bit of stuff I got in there, I need. So. But Gaethje, he's not. I think Nate said something that people might have glossed over. The thing is, guys, that style got him to where he is. It's not going to keep him where he is. Gotta hold your hands up every now and then, bro. You can't. Let's call it the Chris Lieben.
Part of his problem is he puts his hands up too much. Have you noticed how much time he spends? He spends like that, and it's like, might as well just call timeout. You can hit me now,
Yeah, right. Well, that's that he's still taking shots in the head, and I guess people are getting and sneaking in with the hooks, but
and the uppercuts.
Yeah, but I like the idea because I'm hoping it means he's got a succession plan, and I think Sean Shelby, also known as Keith, would book these guys differently if they knew they had a really limited shelf life. Well,
who should he be booked in terms of the plan though? Like, if you're gonna have 5 fights left, like, what kind of fights? Is it just anyone they throw against him, or like?
Well, the thing is, now you've increased the valence of the problem right now. If you're sitting down with your fantasy MMA league, the valence of this problem is increased because you're going to want to waste one of the. It's like you have 3 wishes. You're going to want to waste one of the 5 wishes on some no account body on a fucking undercard or early prelim. No, you want this guy we know everybody's now counting down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's got limited. You put him against people that make sense. It's a classier way, and maybe ultimately a smarter way than saying, I want the money fights.
What about you, Nate, with regard to who he should be booked with? Or who?
Well, since he's losing more than he's winning, he doesn't have a great deal of say in who he gets to fight. Although he is fighting action fights, but he's painted himself into basically the Diego Sanchez corner. You know, he's in action country, but part of being Mr. Action Dude is unless you're stringing together some wins and you're on a title run, you got to scrap with who they put in front of you. That's part of your brand. And so from the UFC's perspective, it's like, let's feed him guys like they've been feeding him, guys that are at the upper tier and who deliver a lot of action. And, you know, when you're booking action fighters, you got a lot of room to play. It's like the way they booked Matt Brown in his heyday, you know, like just anything fun, man. Who we got? Who's tough? Who you got some
names? Names. We're looking for names.
You want names from me?
Yeah.
I haven't been keeping up with the sport, so I don't know. Colby Covington would be fun. I don't know. You know, I mean, not Diego Lima. Now that I don't think a commission would book that shit.
Brock Lesnar.
What he would do? Can you imagine what he would do to CM Punk, even giving up weight?
Yeah.
Would fuck that guy up.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'd
like to see it. But.
That's why we pay to see CM Punk.
Yeah, but the commission still has some say in it. I mean, you know, like, they're not gonna put it.
Well, one thing you do have some say over, Nate, who's the subject of your heel turn?
You know, things have been dreary and dry lately, but there's really nobody I'm pissed at in particular in the MMA world. I could get sort of kerfluffed at Bellator for booking their best fights on time delay in Europe. There's some shit coming up that I would like to see and mostly report on live, but nobody cares that much about Bellator. I'm going to bitch about YouTube because they're fucking maddening. So we got this video on this channel. It's not our kind of stuff, but I don't know if our regular subscribers are watching it, but maybe some of the new people that are watching us came through this. So we've got this video. UFC fighters watch bare knuckle boxing.
Yeah,
it's part of a series. There's UFC fighters watch, you know, medieval MMA. UFC fighters watch team MMA, that kind of stuff. And so we've got this video that's just blowing up because bare knuckle boxing apparently is this huge fucking thing on YouTube. And so a week ago, they flag it as inappropriate for all audiences, which means no advertising, which means no money for the guys who made it.
This is the bare knuckle stuff.
Yeah. And so we write a thing. Well, look, we're a journalistic outfit. This isn't just bare knuckle. This was actually a sporting contest. And this is analysis of a sporting contest by professional fighters. So, you know, and they give you like 23 syllables or something to put in the little appeal box. So we win the appeal. And then a fucking week later, they flag us for the exact fucking same thing again. And the exact same appeal works again. It's like I've never met an entity that does not even know when it's punishing you. I mean, only YouTube has no concept of double jeopardy and doesn't give a fuck. Like the blind idiot god, they're not as bad as Facebook, but I gotta say, amongst the FANG companies, I would rank them as Amazon because customer service, and then way down Apple just because of Appleness, and then way down Google, and then like 8 way downs from that fucking Facebook. Facebook are just complete garbage. I went to this international, I don't know, the ISRJ journalism conference. It's like a primo journalism conference. Like Barron from the Washington Post was there. Ben Smith from Politico is a keynoter. I mean, just all these like A-list type people. And they were all like, you know, Facebook is dead to us. Like they have fucked us so many times, and they don't even like, you know, they just, you're tootling along. You got an arrangement with Facebook, and then they just stop doing it and check you off. Everybody hates Facebook so much. It's not even funny. But anyway, that's my rant. Fucking YouTube. It's the blind idiot god. H.P. Lovecraft's character Azathoth was YouTube. Mark my words.
You know what you got to do, man. You grab that Mossberg, you throw it in the trunk of your car, you get yourself out to San Bruno.
Genius advice, Alex Jones. Thank you.
All right, go by way of Mountain View, because the guys who train with us at jiu-jitsu, the Mountain View cops, if they stop you, they'll just let you go. If you sleep in the car at 2 in the morning with a gun on your lap, you can go. Go ahead.
She was white, Eugene.
Well, she was Persian.
Well, that's whitish. I mean,
yeah, that's a mud person. Come on, don't kid. Who are you kidding?
Slurs that you get to use. That is so unfair.
I'm surprised that she's getting into Starbucks these days.
We'll talk about that on the next show.
Good for you. That's set up. Okay. Yeah, all right. So you gonna give me the lead in here? Or should I'm raring to go.
Wait for your lead in. Alexi's a pro. He's got your lead in.
I'm dying, chomping at the bit.
Let me find the lead.
Everybody knows who.
Oh yeah,
who
Eugene. Who's in your Lost Battalion?
Now, I want to see if Nate has guessed this correctly. Who's in?
Joanna Jędrzejczyk.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay. I'm chomping at the bit because I've been a big booster because of the hometown thing.
She's a great fighter.
But the fact that she hasn't changed her, the fact that she hasn't changed what is it, her Twitter thing, so it's reflected like she won the fight, and then she's 2 weeks later she's saying that everybody's disgusted. But I think this is an after effect. She's been in America long enough. I mean, she's in Coconut Grove, right in Florida. This is an after effect of Trumpism, where it's a wonderful. They used to relativism was something enjoyed by college professors with marijuana in their coat pockets. Could bamboozle freshmen. What's it all mean, man? Here, there. Why bifurcate? Your house, my bed, my penis. Why bifurcate? So, but now the right wing has taken over with this kind of bifurcation where it's like, I had the hugest crowd ever. No, you didn't. Yes, I did. Case closed. I won. I mean, so Joanna, the neo-Floridian that she is now, you lost the fight. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I won the fight. No, you didn't. Prove it. Well,
and still champion.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody saw it. I don't. It's hard to tell who'd she pay off. I don't know. I mean, you know how long. Listen, when I was a lifeguard, I came around the corner and I hear breaking glass. There's a kid. He's got a T-shirt. He's wearing his T-shirt and he's made like a little pouch out of it. He's got rocks in the T-shirt. He's got a rock in his hand. I go, hey, what are you doing? Quit breaking those windows. And he looks at me with this kind of beatific look on his face. He goes, I'm not breaking any windows. And the fact of the matter was, he told the goddamn truth. At that moment in time, he was not breaking any windows. I know it looked bad. This kid had the makings of a lawyer. He had the rock in his hand, rocks in his shirt. There were broken windows over there. Doesn't mean I had anything to do with it. Just because the judges, obviously, like Matt Lindland once said, obviously the judges thought that the check that she gave them was big enough to justify this gross miscarriage of justice. You got to shut the fuck up because it is prime Lost Battalion because you have no idea where you are in space at this point. Because who are you going to fight? Who are you going to fight in the next 6 months? Who are you going to fight for the remainder to 2018? Who are you going to fight in 2019? You can't get a rematch. And at the salary they're paying you, you are golden gatekeeper.
Changing divisions, so
she's got to. At this point,
she's not that lost.
That's really. What division is she? What division is she going to change to?
She's got to move up. Up.
Okay, and
fight Cyborg.
That's like 3 divisions up.
I'd love that fight. That'd be a great one.
She'll fight whoever. I don't even know.
That's a money fight for her. Yeah, her against Cyborg. Money fight.
Eugene, you're about to have to offer.
Just a Gaethje. She can be on the. He has 5 fights left. That'd be a good one.
Well, see, I'm not sitting in front of a high-powered computer like Mr. I have guys coming over to paint my house. Hey, listen, my house got painted recently. You know who my house painter was? You're looking at him. That's right.
Eugene.
Me and the wife. We painted the house.
That's charming. Yeah. That's lovely.
Mr. Steak and Champagne sitting there. Mr. First Class only, kid not paid. So anyway, yeah, Joanna. I mean, so people are making the claim that she should muscle Weidman out of his leadership position in the battalion. And I have to say, look, her acts of her aggressive acts of unawareness occurred largely out of the cage. Weidman got where he is by that. Is it February? That stunt in the cage gets him almost like a professor emeritus thing for that. They're trying to like thinking it was an illegal knee and that he was gonna make believe he didn't know what month it was and that was hashtag pro level shit. So Chris Weidman is still the undisputed leader, hands down, of the Lost Battalion. But she's a 5-star general. Most certainly, that can't be disputed at this point.
I hate to do this, but Eugene, I think you owe everybody their money back. You know what hasn't been mentioned on this entire show?
Nazis.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't do it like that. You don't know that organically. I wasn't going to segue into my 3 types of secrets thing, and with the Polish woman,
I would have done that so fast.
Well, but then you what? So you can cheat one way and you can't cheat the other way. I mean, hey, you know what my goal is in life before people finally fuck off of Facebook? My goal in life now, I had one goal, and that was to have the nuclear bomb post that would cause everybody simultaneously to defriend you, which is almost impossible. So I've given up on that idea. My new idea is to find the person who has known me from the youngest age possible who is not a blood relative.
Oh.
No, wait. You want to unfriend the person who's known you?
No, not unfriend. I want to identify. Right now, I've gotten to 10 years old.
That's as far back as it goes.
You didn't have any, there's no daycare or anything you went to?
I moved 9 times before I was 10, so things get kind of fucking choppy. But the first house I lived in was in Ozone Park, Queens, and I'm looking for the 3 people I used to play with when I was 4 years old. I think they're out there somewhere.
And you got no name. You got last names?
Peaches. It gets tough.
Yeah.
So all of our viewers and listeners out there, Ozone Park, Peaches.
I can't
help Eugene.
Yeah, I mean, if you could find a David Clement, Billy Miller, Joshua Silva, I know where he is. I've known that guy since I was probably about 8. So, but he's not on Facebook. He's a guy who used to play keyboard for Typo Negative. We went to elementary school together. Fun fact.
Well, thanks for joining us. Follow us on Twitter, Eugene S. Robinson, Lexi the Kid Nate, Facebook at MMA Pancholes. Please give us a thumbs up, Eugene.
Thumbs up right below. I mean, sorry, that's a thumbs up.
Leave comments on YouTube, start at MMANation.com and YouTube MMA Nation on iTunes. Visit Bloody Elbow, buy 7 Secret Source Inspiration, buy Oxbow's Thin Black Duke, wherever fine music is sold. Listen to the Let It Roll podcast and immediately find this show. Check out If the Shoes Fit, where we actually had to cut topics because of all that's blowing up in the world, unlike the world of MMA, unfortunately. How do they check out the show, Eugene?
So right below this very picture that you see with my finger pointing, not your crotch, down below on the screen, there's a link. And you click on that fucking link, and after we log out and log back in to that show, we'll see you in 90 seconds.
Right. So if you think this one is too short, just go to the other one and just pretend it's about MMA. We'll be back next week in the installment If I Did It, and we don't know what we're going to be talking about yet because the pyramid stakes have yet to be made.